Good morning, guys. Levar here. Since I am the last member to join the Northwest Passage crew, I thought I should just introduce myself and tell you guys a little bit about myself and what I do. Well, I'm an artist. I've been a full-time artist since 2017, I think. Always done art, but now it's a full-time job. My previous jobs, I've been working in many different things. Coast Guard, the Faroese Coast Guard, in the oil industry, supply ships, fishing industry, construction. I worked at the brewery for a few years, loved it, surrounded by beer all day, brilliant job. I'm married to Swana. We have 4 daughters and a granddaughter. And last but not least, there is Wilson, our cat. And we live here, of course, in the Faroe Islands, in a small place called Hvannasund. About 400 people live here. And right now we have new snow in the mountains. So it's cold, a little bit cold, yeah. I haven't met any of you guys except from Leven. And I met Leven for the first time in 2008, I wanted to row the Atlantic Ocean, and I did some research on the internet, and I found Leven, and I wrote him an email and said to him that I was the uncrowned king of the Faroe Islands and I would like to row with him. And so he invited me down to England, and I don't remember much from that trip. In 2003, I had absolutely no knowledge about ocean rowing, zero, myself and a friend organized a trip. We were trying to row from the Faroe Islands to Shetland, 200 miles, not that far, but it was in a traditional Faroese boat. So it's not a proper ocean rowing boat. And after 24 hours, we had to stop. Well, it was just a disaster, bad weather, and people were, they were almost dead, some of them. Of seasickness. So 2 years later, in 2005, we tried again, only 4 of us, and that was a brilliant trip. And that was actually that trip that convinced me that I was able to maybe row the Atlantic Ocean also. And even though we didn't row all the way, we could see land when a big storm came in Shetland, and a lifeboat came out and gave us a tow. And as I said, in 2008 I met Leven, and in January 2009 we were rowing with La Mondiale. Sadly, we lost La Mondiale and had to be picked up by a Russian cargo ship. So that was my ocean rowing career so far. 3 trips and 0 results. A few months after we got home, Leven wrote me an email again and asked me if I could join him and 2 other guys rowing from New York to England. And rowing from New York to England, it's the holy grail of ocean rowing. And so I said, yes, of course, I would come with him, and that was a very good trip. We had some great moments and also some scary moments with big storms and capsizes and stuff like that. And I went overboard, and yeah, so a brilliant trip. And we broke a really old record. And in 2013, I was rowing again with Leven and with Avalon. Avalon was brand new. It was the first trip, we did the best time that year, but we didn't break a record. So it was a good trip, a good boat, and I remember also a very good crew. In the same year, in 2013, when I got back, I was asked to join a team of, we were only 3, to row from Australia to Mauritius. And so myself, Stuart from England, and Max from Lebanon rowed across the Indian Ocean. In 2015, Leven and I organized a trip between Scotland and the Faroe Islands, and I was on that trip I was a skipper, and Leven was just back home counting money, I think. In 2020, I was on board a boat rowing from Portugal to French Guiana with Ralph from Holland. He was the skipper and I was like the co-skipper. And that crew was, a mixture of one guy was completely blind, and one guy was, he was very young, he was still wet behind the ear. And then we had Frederick, which was a bit older, and yeah, it was many funny moments on that trip. And we also lost the rudder about 1,000 miles from land, and so we couldn't steer the boat. So I came up with the idea to change the seats on deck, and so we were rowing backwards, and it worked. Going very slow because we were going like zigzag, but we were coming closer to the finish line, so it was a good thing. And we were also we didn't have enough food on board. So I managed to make a hook and catch tuna fish with it for a few days. So, but we were actually starving for a while. Yeah, so that's it. Now I'm really looking forward to seeing you all and going on this great adventure with you guys. Yeah. This is an old dream. Yeah. Take care, guys, and I'm sorry also that I'm not very active on WhatsApp. I'm very busy at the moment and trying to make all these paintings. I have a long list of commissions, and I'm trying to go through them so so I can deliver these paintings before I go on the trip. But if I see sometimes on WhatsApp that you are talking about the kit list and oil skins or something to wear, and if anyone needs to know my size, what I use, I am the same size as Leven. Nobody knows this, but we are actually identical twins. Lucky for me, I'm the pretty one. Take care, and I see you soon. Bye bye.